Good afternoon. It is 11 o'clock on March 9th, so I would like to call to order the March 9th meeting of the McGee Creek Authority. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the September 15th McGee Creek Authority meeting. The minutes are in your packet for review. Are there any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval? We have a motion?
So moved.
And a
Second.
and a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Next item 3 is the consent docket. There are a number of things on the consent docket. Some amendments to engineering contracts. There's the approve the audit, which is a significant thing. It's always a significant thing when you get a clean audit. That's a good thing. Some number of resolutions on there to do our annual business, from approving bank contracts to appointing the secretary for the McGee Creek Authority, ratification of payments, mostly housekeeping items. Are there any items on the consent docket that the trustees would like to pull for individual consideration?
No, sir.
Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent docket?
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion the same sign. The consent docket passes. Items for individual consideration are to receive the audited annual financial report and communications related to the audit for the McGee Creek Authority for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022. Is there a presentation on that, or?
Mr. Chairman, Jiffy's here this morning to give us a short summary of the audit report.
Excellent.
Good morning, Chairman and the trustees. Jiffy John Samuel, Financial Operations Manager here. The item that you have, it receives the FY22 Annual Financial Report for the McGee Creek Authority. The city's finance department provides the accounting services for the trust and helps prepare the annual financial report, providing financial statements and analysis. The Accounting Services Division is responsible for recording the financial transactions and ensures that the transactions are in compliance with the generally accepted accounting principles in the country. In compliance with the statutory requirement, the trust engaged Allen, Gibbs, and Horlick, the external auditors, to conduct its annual audit. For fiscal year 2022, the external auditors found no instances of non-compliances and that the MCA financials were presented fairly and there were no material evidences. For your reference, page 7 of the report provides management's discussion and analysis, providing a brief summary of the financials. The overall financial health and the condition of the trust improved in fiscal year 2022. Some of the highlights include the net position, an increase of $3.7 million compared to prior year, with an ending position of $75,399,000. The operating revenues were recorded at $5.6 million and expenses were recorded at $1.6 million. The expenses were consistent in fiscal year 2022, whereas the revenues saw a slight decline of $1.5 million. This is primarily due to changes in the cash requirement that are tied to the McGee Creek revenue bonds that are secured by the aliquot share revenues from the participants of the authority. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you all may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
No.
Seeing none, is there a motion to receive the audited annual financial report and communications?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve it. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion opposed, same sign. Excuse me. Motion passes. Item B is a presentation on the McGee Creek Authority fiscal year 2024 budget.
Mr. Chairman, Vanessa Aguilar and Mark Long will be presenting the budget.
Excellent.
Good morning, Chairman and Trustees. Vanessa Aguilar. The agenda item that you have here before you is the FY24 McGee Creek Authority budget. We have a short presentation to give you the highlights of the budget for the coming year. The sources include $8,886,000. This includes raw water sales from the Atoka Rural Water District Number 4. That's estimated to be at $570,000. This includes a rate plan adjustment in addition to increase in consumption based on historical trends. In addition, we have interest earnings. This is primarily from our operating account. In comparison to FY23, we had slightly more investment earnings, and this was because we also had bond accounts where we had investment earnings. Those bonds have now been defeased, so primarily our investment income is from our operating account, and that's $130,000. We also have a reimbursement from the Bureau of Reclamation per a contract that was established in the 1990s. The BOR reimburses 8.55% of eligible expenses related to O&M and capital expenditures for the dam and reservoir. That's estimated to be $108,000 for FY24. Aquit's aliquot share component is another source of revenue. This is estimated at $5.4 million, roughly, which is 66.67%. That's Aquit's aliquot share component. The remainder of the sources comes in the form of a loan from Aquit to McGee Creek Authority for the remainder of the source needs. That's estimated at $0.6 million. Now we'll go over to the uses side, where we anticipate our budget expenditures to be in the coming year. This includes personnel services, estimated at $445,000 for paying the salaries, benefits, and retirement contribution for the McGee Creek employees. This also includes a contingency of an 8% cost of living adjustment that the City of Oklahoma City has forecasted in their budget for the coming year, and a 3% merit adjustment to the pay plan. Contracts and services is decreasing slightly compared to FY23. It's a reduction of approximately $140,000. That's due to expected reduction in outside legal services in the coming year. We are seeing a slight increase in equipment and supplies. This is due to a couple of things. We're increasing our pump and motor refurbishment program, which includes more of the materials and supplies. We've seen some cost increases over the last couple of years, and this is also including an adjustment to the uniform policy that was implemented. Mark Long will go through the capital in more detail on the next slide, but the final sources that we have for you on this slide here includes an operating and CIP reserve. This is a reserve that we established in FY23, which will help provide funding authority for any unforeseen operating expenses or capital emergency repairs.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and trustees, the capital program is based on the budgeting amount of $7,152,000. We will highlight some of these in a project update, but just to highlight the summary of that, we have several Bureau of Reclamation projects that are due to budgeting in for items that come up during the annual BOR inspection. Over the past few years, we've been able to whittle that number down, so we're only estimating that at $50,000. The pump station and pipeline facility improvements is $5,800,000. We've got a headquarter building planned for FF&E of $200,000. We've got technology improvements associated with the improvements to the headquarter area of $100,000 and other associated projects. There's equipment replacement of $242,000. And then facility road improvements is $760,000, which is part of a larger project, which is about $2.1 million of road improvements throughout the entire area of McGee Creek. Can answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions for either Vanessa or Mark regarding the budget presentation? Yes, sir. Pretty good capital list for the year. Is that the largest capital budget we've ever had?
Yes, sir, and it's actually increasing as the program budget is allowing us to. We'll be looking at an additional $3.8 million over the next few years, so.
All right. No questions on it? Is there, item B2, is there a motion to adopt or a motion to adopt the resolution for the McGee Creek fiscal year 2024 budget?
So moved.
We have a motion? Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Item C is the fiscal year 2024 loan agreement for with the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust. So there's enough cash to fund the entire budget, so there's a loan agreement with the city, the Water Utilities Trust to fund that, as we've done in previous years. Is there a motion to approve the loan agreement?
So moved.
We have a motion second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Item D is a resolution directing the general manager to request participants make an election regarding annual allocate cost for fiscal year 2024 in accordance with McGee Creek amended trust indenture. And again, this is something that's done on an annual basis, as we've done every year. So is there a motion to approve the resolution D?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Item E is a resolution approving McGee Creek Authority funds for equipment replacement, authorize the general manager or designate to purchase such equipment items from the state and other intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreements. So we're here to be able to give the authorization to buy some of the capital that we just approved with the budget. Is there a motion to approve item E?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Item F is a resolution ratifying the actions of the general manager for implementing a 7% pay plan adjustment retroactive to July 1, 2022, a 3% one-time individual stipend for all current full-time McGee Creek Authority employees, and approving a new pay plan retroactive to July 1, 2022 through July 30th, 2023. Total cost estimate is $26,200. That's the largest pay increase I believe we've ever seen, and of course the employees are worth every dollar. But again, it's just a sign of the times of what we're going through right now. So again, is there a motion to approve
So moved.
item F? We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Item G is a resolution authorizing and directing the general manager to establish and administer procurement policies and practices in accordance with applicable law. The state law has changed on the limits on purchasing agreements, and so what we are doing are increasing those limits that are now available based upon the changes to state law. Are there questions regarding that resolution or that policy? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same sign, and the motion carries. H is a resolution authorizing the McGee Creek to settle a case of Meridian Contracting versus the McGee Creek Authority. We had outside counsel assist with that, and it's a settlement of I guess, $8,786.64. So we need a I think we do in one motion, a resolution to approve items 1 and 2 under the agreement. Mr. Keith, you have anything to add?
No, there was, we had the assistance of SRB, and it was a very complicated situation with regard to the improvements down at McGee Creek, and we felt like we had resolved all the issues. Contractor felt like they were still due $120,000 plus, and so we negotiated down to $8,000.
So anytime you can negotiate a claim from 6 digits down to 4 digits, that's a pretty good deal.
Call that a win.
Mr. Stonecipher obviously is an expert in this area. But
I agree.
so do we have a resolution, or a motion to approve items H1 and 2?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Items from trustees. Anything this morning?
I don't have any particular items. I would like to make a comment on the investment that Oklahoma City is making into McGee Creek for southeastern Oklahoma. It's a huge impact on the economics of our part of the state. Those monies flow out to multiple communities around the lake and just further the economic growth of those communities because of the investment Oklahoma City is
It's
making.
been a good partnership.
It has
Thank you.
been.
Thank you. General manager reports. Mr. Browning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 2 reports. Byron Trent is here to talk with us about the lake levels, and then Mark Long will present the project updates.
All right.
Good morning, Chairman and trustees. I'm going to go over the lake level and pumpage report, the bottom columns, starting from the left, working to the right. Our current rainfall total, excuse me, our current rainfall total for this 12-month range was 45.03. Our normal average rainfall for the year is 44.7. We're 0.33 slightly above our normal rainfall for this 12-month range. MCA had an average lake elevation of 575 feet, which is 2 feet below our normal for this 12-month range. The lake storage average for this 12-month range was 92,303 acre feet and was considered 92.77% full. MCA delivered slightly over 26,881 acre feet to Atoka Lake and 715.62 acre feet directly to the city of Atoka. The total electrical cost for pumping over this 12-month range was $411,532. As of today, we're 5 foot above normal and full and waiting on the call to let some of it go. Unfortunately, we can't hold it too much longer, and typically it's good to try to pump it when we're full if Atoka is low, but Atoka's right now within about 5 to 6 inches from hitting the spillway. So that's all I have for the lake level and pumpage report. The operations report, I'm going to turn over to Ron Butler.
All right.
Any questions? Sorry. About the lake levels and pumpage?
Thank you. Ronnie Butler.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, trustees. Since our last meeting, we've had a pretty good run at McGee Creek. Everything seems to be up to par. I'll just highlight just a few items that have happened in the last few months. And most of the activity has been by the Bureau of Reclamation. They came out in October and did a dive inspection of the river outlet works and the intake structure. Just last week, they were here and performed a crawler cam inspection of the tow drains at the dam and the dike. There's 7 of those total. At the end of March, they'll be doing their annual site inspection. I think we're ready for that. And also, in May, they will enter into the M&I through the intake. They're going to rappel down and inspect the interior part of that and the piping, all leading up to the pumping plant. We do have a pump and motor that'll go out soon for refurbishment. Evans will be doing that work. And something that slipped my mind until driving up here this morning, the hydroelectric turbine, that's a done deal, right? That's old news now, so I'm happy to say that is over with. It's going to be a busy summer ahead with many projects that Mark is about to talk about, and that's all I have. Any questions?
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Butler?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron.
Mark Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, trustees. This will be the report for presentation for the project updates.
It's down at the bottom.
There you go. For the current project status updates.
The button that looks like a, yeah, that one.
Looks like a,
First, I want to discuss WMC 035, which is the McGee Creek Authority roadway improvements. This has been a multi-year effort in trying to address the 6 sections of roadway that are the responsibility of MCA. First, the list of roads is shown on the left: Pump Station Road, Dam Road, Spillway Road, and Dyke Road. That project has been awarded. We grouped these projects. As you've seen in your packet, we had several efforts at trying to either bid them in smaller pieces or together, a lack of bidders in one instance. We finally awarded a project to Ellsworth Construction in the amount of $2,009,931. And then we are planning to do a Phase 2 project, which will be the Ferris Road and the Crossover Road. Those will be anticipated to be done with final plans later this year, but we will intend on requesting ratification of those actions at the fall meeting. Those will be done in concert with the actual headquarter improvement building. This is a map that shows the roads that we'll be improving over the next year. WMC 036 and WMC 039, we combined these projects with the Bureau of Reclamation inspection findings and the regulating tank improvements. As I mentioned, the staff at McGee Creek has been doing a great job at maintaining the facilities, and we've actually had very few comments from the BOR over the last 2 years. There were some minor improvements that needed to be done on the upper section of the pump station area. There was some leaking in through a roof and a curb, and then we also have the regulating tank improvements, and we're planning to, they were rebid in March of 2023 together. The 037-1, this is the first component of the McGee Creek headquarter building replacement. We are anticipating having final plans approved for this summer with the intent of requesting ratifying the actions of the general manager at the fall meeting. This is a preliminary site layout. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see that is the new equipment building that is actually in place. And then in the center is the new headquarter building. Towards the lower part of the page, you'll see that was the existing headquarter building. And this was due to the fact that the foundation problems and the building life are just no longer serviceable, and it was more practical to move forward with a new headquarter building. This is a very preliminary rendering of what the headquarter building will be. And as you can see on the back side, the garage bay doors, this will also not just be a headquarter building, it will provide a shop area so that the local Southeast Water Supply staff can do maintenance on vehicles at a more efficient way than traveling up to Oklahoma City or another area within the city facilities. The second component is replacing the residence. If you'll recall, the resident was actually part of the original headquarter building, and the on-site staff person has been living in that. Unfortunately, this is one of the areas that had the biggest foundation problems, was in the residential part of the building. And so the staff person will be able to enjoy this new resident replacement. We're anticipating that plans and specs will be approved this summer, and we intend to request ratifying those actions for the general manager at the fall meeting. And this is a rendering of the proposed resident replacement. WMC 040 is the cathodic protection improvements. These are much needed improvements. We actually did, through study and working with the staff at MCA, we were able to identify a more efficient way of doing these improvements without having to do complete replacement of the cathodic equipment. And that is the update for the spring meeting of all the projects. We're looking forward to quite a few projects to present to you in the fall.
Thank you, Mr. Long. The new maintenance building looks great down there. And I think we all need to remember that the present headquarters building was a materials testing lab constructed over 40 years ago. And so on, and now it has some structural problems and such. It hasn't been a great building for a number of years.
And there were efforts in 2012 and 14 to do some foundation repairs, and then once the cosmetics were done inside, then the settlement started to occur. If you'll recall, it was a temporary building. We found large boulders underneath the foundation, and that has been the real root of the problem.
Differential settlement.
Thank you.
All right, any questions on any of the general manager reports this morning?
Yes.
All right, we will move to citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens to be heard? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.